Hello there, welcome. First video on a brand new channel where I'm going to build a model railway. I've never built a model railway before, so this is going to be a new adventure, and I figured I'd share my progress and my processes on the magic of video as I go. Saying I've never built a model railway before, that's not strictly true. Let's have a bit of an introduction, shall we? My name's Graham, I live in Sherwood Forest in Nottinghamshire in the UK, and I'm a modeller. I build scale models, plastic kit models, tanks, aircraft, cars, ships, that sort of thing. Occasionally a little bit of figure painting thrown in there as well, now and again. And as you can see, I've got a bit of a sort of modelling studio set up, for the want of a better word. I've got a shed in my garden. It's a 10x12 summer house, and I've kitted it out purely for scale modelling. It's all fully insulated. You can see I've got all the kit around me. Got my lovely spray booth here, workbench, all my weathering products and tools and paints and everything else. It's just a space where I build scale models. I've been doing that for about 6 years. Never really done it much as a kid, you know, a couple of Airfix Spitfires or something when I was younger, but it's not really something that I did. Fell down a rabbit hole about 6 years ago and started building these kit models, and I absolutely love it. The only time I've done a railway model, or railway modelling at all of any kind, was about 10 or 11 years ago. I had a half-hearted go. No, it wasn't a half-hearted go. I actually went at it really hard to try and build a 6x400 layout. And I built a baseboard, and I spent far too long track planning, and I laid the cork track bed, laid the track down, got it powered, got it working sort of ish, and then lost interest. Totally gave up on it. There was a few reasons at the time, but essentially lost interest, sold the whole lot, and never thought any more about it. And then, like I say, got into scale modelling about 6 years ago, and I've been doing that ever since. My youngest son is now 9 years old, and he's been asking me for a good few years to build him a model railway layout. When he was younger, he was into Thomas and Chuggington and all that stuff. He had a few Trackmaster sets, and I bought him a decent Marklin Juniors set, and he loved that. He played with it for hours, still gets it out now and again, but he keeps asking me to build him a model railway. I took him to Doncaster Model Railway Show a couple of years ago, the one that's at the racecourse, and he absolutely loved it. We had a great day up there, and he absolutely loved it. And he's been nagging me, build me a model railway, Dad, build me a model railway. And I keep putting him off. I keep sort of, no, I'm enjoying building my model kits and stuff. Until now, and he's finally broken me, and I've decided now's the time where I'm going to try and build a model railway. So I'm going to try and shift from what I would call scale modelling across to railway modelling. Well, although they're both modelling in scale, so I don't really get the differentiation, but you know what I mean. I'm going to put the kit modelling to one side for a little while, and I'm going to focus on building a model railway. This is all new to me. I'm not a railway enthusiast. In fact, I'll get this out of the way now. I work in the rail industry. I work as a shunter and driver in a rail depot. I drive diesel locos every day of my life, every day of my working life. I shunt, and I love my job, absolutely love it, but I'm not an enthusiast at all. I'm not a rail enthusiast whatsoever, not really. Beyond my work and what affects me at work, I don't really have much of an interest. I'm interested in the history to some degree. I mean, I like watching, you know, documentaries on TV about early railways and how it all formed and that kind of stuff, but beyond that, I'm not really into railways at all. I like engineering, but again, not to the level of being a railway enthusiast. So for me to build a model railway, it's not an easy job, because I can't sort of go, oh, I want to build this era, and I want to do a mock-up of this particular yard or depot or whatever. I've had to do a lot of research. Now, my little boy's decided that he wants a shunting layout. He doesn't want to watch a roundy. He wants a shunting layout. I think it's partly because he knows what my job is. I've had him down to the yard a couple of times. He's had to ride on a couple of locos. So he specifically said he wants a shunting layout. And when we were at Doncaster, we spent hours just watching all these little shunting layouts going backwards and forwards. He loved it. So that's what we've settled on. Size-wise, I'm gone for 4 feet by, I think I've got nearly about 2 feet. I'll show you the baseboard and stuff in a minute. And track plan I found from channel on YouTube. I've been doing a lot of YouTube research, and I've been watching a channel called Budget Model Railways. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with it. I think it's Mike and Doug, is it? Mike and Douglas. they've been a great help. For a beginner like myself, I think there's a lot of good stuff on that channel. And they do like building their shunting layouts. And of all the ones he's built, the one that he calls his ideal shunting layout is the one I've gone for, the track plan at least. Not necessarily the same sort of layout configuration necessarily, but the track plan is what I've gone for. Era, I'm going to go for 50/60s, purely and simply because I drive old diesels at work. All of my diesels that I drive are 50, 60 years old. I'm driving class 08s, class 20s, class 47s on a daily basis. So that's kind of what I know, what I'm familiar with, and what I kind of like, to be honest. My little boy likes steam. So I want to build that sort of transition era, sort of 50s, 60s, where I can have either steam or diesel on the layout. But I don't want to get bogged down with factually correctness, if that's a good way of describing it. Definitely industrial. I like heavy weathering on my models. I like that's part of what appeals to me with modelling is the weathering. So I'm going to go industrial, sort of dark, red brick, rundown, dirty, grimy sort of buildings, I think. And we'll see how it goes from there. So far, I've built a baseboard, very rough baseboard. In fact, the 6x4 baseboard that I built last time, 11 years ago, has still been in my garage. And it was a well-constructed one. It was 9-inch ply with 2x1 battens all the way around it. And basically what I've done, I've stripped that down and I've basically used chunks of it to build another 4 foot by 2 foot baseboard, which is currently sat behind the camera right now. I've gone and bought all of the bits that I need to get going. So like I said, I've built the baseboard, I've got some cork for the track bed, I've bought the points that I need, I've bought some flexi track, I've bought a cheap basic Hornby controller. I'll upgrade that at a later time. I just want to get going with that. Bought a Loco. Like I say, my thing is diesel. I love diesels, but ultimately I've got to remember I'm building this for my son and he loves steam. So I've ended up picking up this little 060. I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. I think, is it a J39? Something like that? I don't know. It's a little 060 steam Loco. It's pretty. It's an old original Hornby one. It's in really good condition, as you can see. And that'll do to get us started. I've got a couple of little wagons here, let me show you those. A couple of little wagons. And we've also got a couple of the Daypol wagon kits. I've got the meat van and the brake van, the Daypol kits, which I'm currently building with my son. So we can learn a bit of kit building as well. So yeah, the next step is to start laying the track down and to get going. And I figured what I would do is, because this is all new to me, I figured I would video everything as I do it, or most of the stuff as I do it, and sort of, hopefully show how I'm going through learning how to do all these different techniques. Because techniques wise, watching on YouTube as a kit modeler, is this what I would call a scale modeler. A lot of the techniques that I use for weathering, and myself and my friends would use for weathering and that kind of thing, looking at railway modelling videos, the techniques are very different in a lot of cases. People using different sorts of methods that I've never come across before, and I look and I think, whoa, why are you doing that? I wouldn't do it that way. But then when you look at it and you see some of the results and you think, oh, that's really good, actually, I might have to try that myself. So it's going to be interesting to see how I sort of shift from the type of modelling that I'm used to doing into railway modelling, and whether I can bring some of the skills I've got from that over. I should imagine they're very transferable. I mean, like I say, I love weathering. I can build model kits. I'm very comfortable with all that kind of stuff. I've had one attempt at a diorama before, which was a Ford Transit van, which I built on a bit of a waste ground sort of scene. I'll try and find a photograph to put up on screen now. And I really enjoyed doing that, but it's the only real effort I've done at building a diorama. I've got some sort of some products, some scenic products. I've got loads of flock and ballast and stuff like that I can use. Buildings wise, I'll probably go for plastic kit buildings for the majority of them. I've got a couple of cardboard kits which were kindly given to me by a friend at work, which I might do. I think they're Metcalf ones. so yeah, that's it. So I thought I'd bring you along for the ride and see where we end up. So currently my baseboard is behind you. As you can see, I'm in my modelling shed. So if I just take the camera off the tripod and I'll show you what I'm doing and where I'm building it, and then hopefully we'll get cracked on and get some track down. I'm excited. 1 second. Okay, so sorry, I've got these lights I use. This is normally my photographing area. Okay, so I've got this big roll of paper here that I can pull down onto this table, and then I've got these large studio lights, okay, which illuminate my models. There's my modeling case over there with all my kits that I've built in there. That's the Transit I was talking about. So that's what this table, just a sort of regular IKEA table, that's what this has been used for historically. I've currently got the studio lights turned around so that I can shine some light on me while I'm recording. But that's the baseboard I've built. Like I say, just a simple 4x2 baseboard. Nothing fancy, but a 9mm ply, 2x1 battens. And then, like I say, I've got these Bachmann points that I've picked up. Got some Pico Streamline Flexi Track, a very basic Hornby controller just to get us going, track pins and all that kind of stuff. And that's basically how we're going to kick it off, and that's where it's going to be built for now. Once it's finished, I'll probably move it up to my son's room because I'm planning on building another one soon after. So that's it. That's where we're starting off at. That's me so far. That's where we're at, and we'll move forward from here. And hopefully, very soon, we'll have a decent layout. I'll try and film as much as I can as I go, as I'm laying the track down and that kind of thing. Anything I'm unsure about, anything I'm trying for the first time, especially, I definitely want to sort of try and get that on video as well. Like I say, I'm going into this totally blind, really. I don't really have any plan for what buildings and stuff I want to put around. Obviously, the track plan's sorted, that's done. And I'm not going to change that now, that's final. But the actual what I put around it, the scenics and the buildings and that kind of thing, and how I lay it out is all open to suggestion and open to change. So if you do have any suggestions or any ideas that you want to share, you want to recommend, please drop them in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to read them and take them on board. And we'll see where we end up. We'll see where we end up. Hopefully, we'll have a bit of fun along the way. And hopefully we'll end up with something that's worth showing off at the end of it. And hopefully I'll learn a few new skills along the way. A lot of hopefullys there. Crossing fingers all the way. So yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you will join me in the future. Obviously hit the like and subscribe button if you don't mind, please, because that will obviously keep me motivated. And we'll see where we end up. Thanks very much for watching, and I will be back very soon with the first instalment of the build. Cheers, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.